I can just go whenever?
Yep.
Okay, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Lara Ricote! Thank you! Hi! Thank you, actually. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. Welcome. This is my show. It's called Girl, Latin, Deaf, and it's for anyone who is Latin American or hard of hearing or is or knows a girl. If that's you, this show is for you. I hope you like it. Good. Thank you for being here. So special. It's a recording. I'm so glad that you're here. It is about me. It's my first show. It's the first show I've ever written, and you'll see. You'll see that it is. It's the first show I've ever written. And it's about me. I'm a Mexican person. Is anyone else a Mexican?
¡Woo!
¡Ey, qué padre! ¡Qué linda! ¿De dónde?
De la Ciudad de México.
Qué buena onda. ¿Y tú también?
También de la
Qué padre. The rest of the show is in Spanish. I only need one, and I have two. And everybody else be like, oh, what an interesting cultural experience. Yeah, it was really good. It was in Spanish. It was great. Good. No, I won't, but qué linda. Gracias que están aquí. Qué linda. Good. Great. I am Mexican. My mom is actually the Mexican. My dad's an anti-vaxxer, so that's different. Just something else. Used to be Venezuelan, but now being anti-vax, 100% of his identity. Only thing he talks about. Not a 5G anti-vaxxer, which we all love and appreciate. But he is what you call a granola anti-vaxxer. That just means that he eats very healthy. My dad eats like a little baby bird. Lots of fruits, lots of nuts, and my mom chews them up and puts them in his mouth for him. That's how he eats. It's jarring and upsetting for my whole family to watch our father figure eat like that. It's mostly a lot of coconut oil. My dad is lathering up coconut oil all over his body at all times. Moisturizes his knees and elbows with coconut oil. If you try to catch my dad, he slips right out of your hand. A very slippery dad, my dad. He does these hairdos with coconut oil. And I actually just went home and I realized that if I kiss him on the forehead before leaving the house, he'll moisturize my lip for the whole day. So that's awesome. What's it called? The reason he is an anti-vaxxer is because of me, unfortunately. When I was little, when I was 2 years old, I got my first vaccine in Mexico, and so had my older sister. We both got our first vaccine in Mexico, and 2 years later, they found out that we were both hard of hearing in our ears. I know I don't need to specify where, but people ask, people say, hey, Lara, where is it that you can't hear? And it's in the ears mostly. That's where it happened to me personally, where it manifests in my body as of yet. My dad was like, oh, obviously it was the Mexican vaccine that made my daughters not be able to hear well and not my DNA because it's really good. Top shelf DNA, he says. Obviously it was the Mexican vaccine because my little sister, she didn't get the vaccine in Mexico and she didn't come out hard of hearing. She did come out kind of stupid. No one talks about that. No one mentions that ever at any point, never. They never say, they say, oh, the deaf one, and the stupid one. What about her? Are we never gonna talk about that? We never talk about it. My little sister has been prescribed Adderall 11 different times. Every time, my sister goes to the doctor for any other reason, and they're like, you should get this girl on some Adderall. And my parents would never, because they don't believe in conventional medicine, so they don't give her Adderall. What they do give her, they give her a stick of lemongrass. Instead, they do for focus. I will say one thing, when my little sister is chewing on the lemongrass, she can't do anything else. She's 100% on with the lemongrass. She's there, she's present. She does one Pomodoro cycle with the lemongrass. It's amazing, 25 minutes, one lemongrass stick, just it's terrifying actually to watch. My mom is not an anti-vaxxer, but she does believe in the Mayan religion. Do we know it? It's very niche. Never what you want a religion to be, niche. But it is. She's one of 7 people that are believing in that as we speak right now. Not just because they were all killed because they were, but also because they keep predicting stuff that just doesn't happen. Remember? 2012? Look at us, unfortunately still here, hanging out. Say what you will about the Christians, but they did it right because they never said when. And that's so smart. The lesson there is keep it ambiguous. So smart. Obviously, 2012, too early. You know, like clearly, obviously too early. But only off by like 40 years. It's just so fucking close. I'm sorry, was that a little comment about the climate crisis? Yeah. I figure like we're all thinking about it, so I'm gonna just like sprinkle in a couple of it. Okay, you care? Yeah, I actually do care. So you can shut your fucking mouth during my goddamn show. What is that? Absolutely, yeah, very fair question. What is that? That is a version of me from a parallel universe where instead of doing comedy, I went and I joined Extinction Rebellion. No. And she thinks that I should join Extinction Rebellion in every parallel universe. But I'm like, isn't that the point of parallel universes? That I can do different things in every... If every parallel universe, I'm doing the exact same thing, why am I there in the first place? I could just be here. What am I doing over there doing the same thing in every universe? It's stupid ass. Okay, and this is what you chose to do? Yeah, this is what I fucking chose to... Shut your goddamn mouth! I can hit her. Because it's me. And self-harm is not illegal. My parents feel a lot of guilt about the fact that my older sister and I are hard of hearing. They feel a lot of guilt because they feel like it's their fault. I think the worst part about that is that it's obviously their fault. Insofar as like it's not my fault, you know? Like I was just born. I think it's unfair that it's so clear that they fucked it because there's two of us. If there's one of us, they could be like, oh, a flu got you, like as a baby or something. But there's two, which means they fucked it the first time. They fucked it the second time. Third time they fucked it, but differently, because my little sister is so stupid. She's so dumb, really dumb. They feel so much guilt that the hearing aids that I wear now, they gave them to me for my birthday. And that, I think, is not right. I feel like it's wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you had them before, don't wait. Like, give them to me as soon as you purchase them. Don't even wait a minute in between. Like, take me to the store. Don't make it a gift. You know what I mean? Don't make it a gift. Wait till the day of my birth to give me the gift of hearing? What are you talking about? They waited. They got them in May, and they gave them to me, and say it with me, December. Yeah, it's late. Yeah, they did wait, but they gave me incredible hearing aids. My hearing aids have Bluetooth. Yeah, that's amazing. Bluetooth, how does it work? We'll never know. It's amazing. That means that I can listen to podcasts as I'm talking to people. Yeah, which is every modern woman's dream. I'm doing it right now. It's a true crime podcast. Okay, so they found these 3 fingers. Fingers belong to a woman, yeah. And a woman's missing, of course. Husband of the woman finds the fingers in the kitchen counter, and he grabs them and he puts them in a Ziploc bag. And he takes them to the precinct. At the precinct, they start investigating the husband. Yeah, because why do you touch the fingers? I was thinking the same thing. Okay, turns out, husband of the no fingers lady is cheating on the no fingers lady with her sister. Yeah, very empathetic crowd. They go, so he's a cheater. But is he a murderer? Anyways, my favorite thing about being hard of hearing is definitely that my older sister is more hard of hearing. That's my favorite thing. Doctors say that our deafness is the same. They say we're the same level deaf. I don't believe that. I don't think so. I think that bitch is deaf as shit. I think she's so deaf. I find her so deaf. She's bad at it. She never tells anyone ever that she can't hear. I tell everyone all the time, I'm like, hey, I'm hard of hearing. Don't talk to me. She doesn't. She pretends to hear. It's a crazy thing to do, to pretend to hear. If you didn't get you're never gonna answer. You just won't. You just won't. She does all of the time. She sounds so stupid, you know? And she's not the stupid one. The little one's the stupid one. It's like, don't mix up your determining character trait. You know what I mean? Like, stay in your fucking lane, is what we say to her as a family. The thing about my older sister is that my older sister is insanely hot. Like, she got like these big titties. She does big titties. She has a fat ass. She does fat, natural, fat, like good. Like hot, and she's tall, and she's blonde, and she's tan, and she's very conventionally attractive, so it doesn't really matter how much she participates in conversation. Like, not actually so much, you know, because nobody would ever believe that she could potentially be disabled. They wouldn't. They're just like, is that a hot woman? And she has no opinions? People love her, is what I mean. They invite her everywhere. We both have what's called degenerative hearing loss, which is the kind that just continuously gets worse. And I don't speak any sign language. I don't speak or sign language. Like, I don't speak or sign language. I don't sign language. I don't sign it or speak it or sign it. Like, I don't know how to language it's saying. Like, I don't sign language. Like, I don't sign or sign language. I don't sign language. I don't speak or sign it. I don't sign language because doctors have told me that as my hearing gets progressively worse, they said that science is just supposed to get better. They say, don't worry about it. They say, people, they're working on it. Scientists, they're at the lab. They're on their computer. They do beep, boop, boop. They're working on it. They say the mice are on it. Everyone's on it. Don't even think about it. You go about your life. And people are working on it. I just want to know, is there anyone here tonight that happens to be working on it? And nobody knows anybody? And nobody has like a cousin who's in the business? Or heard about an article? No, that's fine. Don't even worry about it. That's fine. I'm going around countries asking this question. I never, not once, has anyone been working on it. Never, not one time at one show, a man raised his hand and he said, actually, my wife's stepdad is working on it. And this man was 76 years old. This man was so old. I was like, oh no. I'm pretty sure that person is made up and dead. Now's the time where I tell you that whole degenerative hearing loss thing is actually a metaphor for the climate crisis. Isn't it so good? It's so good. Don't think about it now. Think about it later, because we're in the present. This whole book actually filled with metaphors for the climate crisis. The first one is degenerative hearing loss. You heard it here first. It's perfect. It fits right. And the second one is, you know when people get like food stuck in their teeth? Like when someone's got like a piece of black bean stuck in a tooth or something? I think that could also be a really good metaphor for the climate crisis. I haven't worked out the kinks for that one yet. What I mean to say is I care deeply, but I'm doing very little work on the matter. The other day at a show, a man came up to me after the show, because they do, and he said, hey, you know that metaphor that you did for the climate crisis, the one you didn't finish? It's actually a really good metaphor for the climate crisis, because it's just like that. It's like there's a piece of black bean in someone's tooth and we just don't want to talk about it, and it's really good. And then he said, you got a good brain on ya. I just wanted to share that. This show is called Girl Latin Deaf. That's what it's called. It's my minority show. I wanted to do a minority show this year. My next year's show is going to be called Vegan Misogynist Rich. I'm expecting to go through changes. And next year, I'm going to be a bitch. This year, I wanted to do a minority show, because I don't know if you've heard, being a minority, very in right now. It's popping, and everyone's doing it. Everyone's 23andMeing to see what percentage Filipino they are for their applications. It's good. It's a good time. It's never been like this. Like for most of history, we were all just like trying to pass as whoever life has been easiest for. And for most of history, life was easiest for who the world was made for, which is straight, white, able-bodied, cis men. It's not their fault. I mean, sorry, 100% their fault. Like they were like, no, let's make it that way. It could have been any other way. They say, no, come on, that way. And so now it's that way. So 100% their fault. But that's not what like the show's about, but like 100% their fault. For most of history, it was like, oh, should I publish this book as a woman? And no one will read it. Or should I maybe plop on a mustache? Call myself Sir Isaac. Publish the same book and everyone reads it. You know, it's a fucking no-brainer. Everybody plopped on the mustache and published the book. Everybody did it. You know Moby Dick? Actually supposed to be Moby Vagina. No one would have read it. It would have been impossible to publish such a book. Now things are different. Things are better. We'd love a Moby Vagina. People are dying for a Moby Vagina. I'm working on it. It's good. It's good. Things have changed. We've done a huge 180 in specific metropolitan cities around the world. And things are fixed, I'd say. Things are really good. And you might be thinking, Lara, how cynical of you to do this now, your minority show, when it's in. Yeah. Yeah, but to that I say, were you wearing low-rise jeans last year? Shut up. That is a joke for 50% of the audience. But women deserve jokes too. I'm jumping on the minority bandwagon, but I'm doing it because a thing about me is that I pass as a good amount of stuff. So if I don't tell you what groups I am a part of, like openly, if I don't come out as them, you might not know. Like the fact that I'm hard of hearing, if I don't tell you, and I will tell you, but if I don't tell you, you might not know. And nothing about me super gives it away. You can't really see my hearing aid. You don't know. I have this voice. You're thinking, when's she gonna say something about the voice? Now. I'll say something about the voice now. I have this voice, but the voice doesn't scream that I'm hard of hearing. The voice just screams, I'm a 12-year-old boy whose balls just dropped. I know, my voice sounds like if Bart Simpson was your friend and he sent you a WhatsApp voice message, you played it on 1.5. I know, it's like that. That's how I talk. It doesn't scream that I'm hard of hearing. But I am, and it makes me disabled, but kind of like disabled light. Is that offensive to anyone in here? Okay, disabled light. Just means like I am disabled, but I don't really get like the perks of being disabled. There's not that many perks of being disabled, but I don't really get like the perks of them. Like there's probably like the community. I don't get like a community, you know, like I'm not like deaf enough for deaf camp. I will be in the future, but at some point you're just too old for camp. You can't go to camp anymore. They don't let you go to camp. I also don't get like a parking spot. Too much to ask for. I don't want that. I don't need a parking lot. But I don't get it. But I don't get one. I don't get it. I also don't get like the bathroom. The bathroom's not for me. I of course use the bathroom. And I will tell you why I use the bathroom, because I think it makes sense that I use the bathroom, because you guys use the bathroom. Sometimes you're like, today I'm gonna gift myself a long mirror. That's what you're like. And I can use the bathroom a little bit more than you can. And because you use it, I use it a lot. You know what I'm saying? But it's only because you use it first that I use it a lot. Yeah, I'm not saying if I see a person in a wheelchair that's rolling over to the bathroom that I run and I skip them. I'm not saying that at all, never. I actually walk and I pass them most of the time. That just has more to do with like my general stride in general. Disabled light. It means actually all I really get, I don't get any of the perks. I get people coming up to me after shows and being like, oh, you're hard of hearing? I have tinnitus. Which, it just had nothing to do with me. You know, like it's like, oh, you're already hearing? You're gonna be deaf by the end of your life? How crazy. I was actually on a mountain the other day and I got this big old scrape. But thank you for sharing. Disabled light. I feel the same thing about being a Latin American person. I feel the same thing about being a Latin American person. I always thought that if I didn't tell people, they just wouldn't know. And then I moved here to the Netherlands. And it was my first time living around a ton of white people. And it's not just white people, it's like white people, right? Which is like a different kind of white person. It's like the OG. It's like the Anglo-sex. It's like the default avatar you get before you spice it up in a video game. Like the white person. And before I moved here, I thought maybe I belonged to that group. I thought maybe that was my group. I hadn't thought about it too much, but then I was talking about it with my Austrian roommate, and she was like, "You're not white." And I was like, "What? What do you mean?" She was like, "No, you're what we call a person of color." I was like, "What?" I never heard that before. I was like, "Wait a minute. So I'm black?" She was like, "No." I was like, "I am so sorry." I didn't tell. Don't tell anyone that I did that. I'm so sorry. What am I? And she was like, "You're Mexican." I was like, "Oh, yeah." That's a silly joke, but that's exactly what happened to me. A white person told me I was a person of color, and I immediately accepted it. I think it's because historically they choose, and you just gotta shut the fuck up and say thank you. It's crazy to me, though. I was 21 years old when I found out I'm a person of color. 21 years old, which is late in a life to find that out. You know, it makes me think, like hypothetically, if a brown person does not know that they are a brown person, are they a brown person? You know what I'm saying? Like, come with me on this. Let's say, hypothetically, that a brown person is walking around the forest, right? They're walking, and they're by themselves, and there's no one around with them, and they fall. And there's no one with them in the forest. And there's no one there, and they fell. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm getting at? Like, if a brown person is walking alone in the forest and they fall and there's no one around to tell them that they're brown, you know what I'm saying? It's like, did they even fall? You know what I mean? Or like, did a cop shoot them? I don't know. Is that the right question? Is that the correct thing to say? Is that the right thing I should say? Or is the whole forest just completely on fire and the whole notion of race just like burned along with us because we were fighting about stuff that didn't matter? Is it that one? I'm sorry. Are you just gonna keep doing that throughout the show? I'm actually gonna do whatever the fuck I want. You shut your goddamn mouth through my. Listen, I've been sitting inside this man here for the entire show. What's your name, sir?
Roman.
What was that?
Roman.
Plim? I've been sitting inside Plim here for the entire show. And Plim and I were thinking, if you want to talk about the climate crisis, why don't you just go ahead and talk about it? Like, do you not have to sprinkle it in? Just fucking write a bit about it. Do it. And you know what Plim and I can't stop thinking about? Plim and I just keep thinking, do a song. Do a song already. What's up with all this blabbering? Just sing, move around. Do a song. That's what Plim and I just can't stop thinking about that. I'm sorry, what? No, that's not what this show's about. I'm not gonna do that. I'm sorry, Plim. This isn't the Plim show. Sorry, I wrote it in, but it like always throws me off. I was talking I was talking about passing. I think there's one thing that should have let me know that I was maybe a person of color and didn't, and that was my nipples. When I was 12 years old, I went to my second private school. My parents were both freelancers, which meant that any time that they had money as a family, they would send me and my two sisters to a private school. And any time that they spent that money on that private school, they would send us to a public or state school. And that happened 7 times. That happened a lot of times in my life. It happened a lot of times, went back and forth. In my second private school, it was in the northern part of Miami. I lived in Miami at the time, which is a place where I think no children should be allowed. Miami, Florida. That's where I lived. And you know when you're in middle school, you do like the scientific method and like you show everyone your nipples like to compare. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Between lunchtime and break time, nipple time. You know what I'm talking about? You know, we all go, nipple time, nipple time, nipple time, and plop them out, and then everyone would come get close and compare. You remember? You know what I'm saying? You know, remember it was around the time where we used to like make out through newspaper, like to practice with the girls. Remember with the girls? We'd put the newspaper and we'd do it like inside of a tub. We didn't know we were bisexual yet, so we'd do it like with the newspaper in our mouth, but we still do it like naked in the tub, like newspaper in the mouth. You remember? You remember? And it was around that time also we would do these tattoo Celine Dion quotes on our lower back with like the pen, and we'd burn the tip of the pen so it stayed longer, and it hurt so bad, but we did it because we loved her. Right? When I was 12 years old, I saw so many nipples. I saw like all of the girls in my class's nipples, and all of the nipples were these little pink nipples. Little pink nipples. And I was like, oh, look how interesting to find out this way that I am diseased. What an interesting way to find out that I have a disease. My nipples were more like brown hitting purple, and I was like, maybe they're missing some oxygen. Maybe there's not enough oxygen getting to the tip of my nip. I was worried. I Googled it. I said how to fix this problem, and Google was like, oh, don't even worry about it. All you have to do is you have to put honey and lemon on the nipples. Why don't you do this for 1 year? Hey, try this for a year, Lara. Try it for 1 year. Guess what I did, ages 12 to 13. Yeah, every day. Come home from school, wait till my parents went to bed, and then I'd go over to the kitchen, and then I'd make a little concoction, and I'd fondue my nipples into a tiny little baby bowl that was just tiny enough for my tiny little baby boobies. And then I would go to bed, and I'd wake up, and I'd peel my shirt off, and I'd go to middle school. And I did this every day for 1 year. Turns out, you can't just use honey and lemon to fix an ethnicity. It will not work. They were the same. They were just so sticky. They were so sticky. They were sticky 24/7. They were sticky all of the time. Just all the stickiest nipples in town. Just so sticky. I'd skip a day, still sticky. Just so sticky. They look like 2 little burnt baklavas. That's what they look like. That's what they look like. I know that story makes some people kind of sad. I know over there a little bit sad. You guys should hug on the way out. I know, I understand. It does have sad undertones, of course, in this climate. You know, so many bees working for no avail. I understand. I think if I were to do my life over again, I wouldn't spend a year on the nipples and the honey. I wouldn't. I do it now, but for different reasons. I don't know why, really. Not really. I don't do it, but like a little. Like sometimes. Not really. What's it called? I don't think I should have spent a year on it. I don't think we also should have been making out through a newspaper. Disgusting. What was that about? But the Celine Dion tattoo, I actually still have it. Is that worth it? Make my white bed all black. And sometimes I get this laugh from a collective crowd. But I need it for this segue. What is Celine Dion? Audience participation time. Just shout it out. What is she?
An icon.
An icon, yes, biased. Yes. Over here, what is she? Generic stuff? Canadian, a woman, yes she is. And yes she is. She is a woman, and so am I. That's the segue. I am a woman. I am a woman. That's one thing that's for sure. I am a woman. I don't super feel like a full-blown woman. I know I am. Like, I'm 26 and I just got my period today. So I know I'm like a full, like I'm a woman and I'm dripping down my leg right now, but women power through. I am. I'm a woman. I know I'm not a full-blown woman because when anybody calls me ma'am or says like Mrs., I get like goosebumps down my spine. And I feel like I'm like 3 little girls in a trench coat that just got let into the club. And I know it because like when I'm having sex, which I do sometimes, I do. I do. When I'm having sex, if I'm having sex, and if I, for one moment, while I'm in the sex, I am having it, inside of it, and in the sex. And if I, for one moment, while I'm having sex, remember that I am right now having sex with a man, I'll come immediately. Like, just the idea. Sometimes it's time for you to come, like, you have to tell yourself, so I just have to be like, Lara, that's a man. Every time, without fail, every time. Like, my favorite position is only doggy style because I can giggle throughout it. I'm like, okay. No, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I can do that. Ow, 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 ow! I am new to sex. I am, like, I'm not new, but it took me a long time to get started having sex. Like, I didn't actually start taking birth control until the pandemic, which you don't know what that feels like. Birth control feels like microdosing depression. Just every day, at the same time, just like a deep sadness in your chest at this every day, 10 a.m., there's a collective sigh from women across the world. You might be like, Lara, during the pandemic, when everyone was supposed to be home all day, you just out there fucking everybody, Lara? Lara, when everyone was legally supposed to be indoors, you just couldn't stop going out there and fucking everybody, Lara? Yeah, I had a lot of sex during the pandemic, but it was mostly because I found out that I have 3 cysts in my ovaries, and I read half an article that said that semen is actually soothing for the cysts. Sort of like a cream. So I was fucking a lot for my health. I do have 3 cysts in my ovaries. I have cysts, and if you have cysts, they tell you that the only thing that you can do is take birth control. But I don't want to take birth control because it makes me so sad. So I did come up with a plan. I stopped taking the birth control. I still have the cysts. My plan is that I'm going to get pregnant, and then I'm not going to eat, and then my baby's going to get so hungry. My baby's going to get so hungry. My baby's going to be starving, and my baby's just going to dig in there, and my baby's just going to eat my cyst. Just because I have 3 cysts. And then I'm just gonna immediately get an abortion. Just right after. Because Marie Kondo says. She says, if something isn't working for you, let it go. I told that joke at a show once, and a man yelled. He went, hey, that's actually not how it works, because if you don't eat, I know that. You think I don't know that? You think I actually think a baby's gonna eat my cyst? You think I don't know about the bag the baby's in? You think I haven't heard about the bag? You think I think my baby's just free-balling it in there? I know about the bag! My body makes the bag! I've heard about the bag! The The baby would never break the bag to get to the cyst. The bag's its home. Still, I think it's a funny thing to say. I have one more baby joke. I don't think that. I have an IUD. I got it put in, the copper T, the coil. You put it in, stops you from getting pregnant, except 1% of the time. You get pregnant anyways, but that's only because God wants a baby so bad. God wants a baby so bad. God just sends the baby straight through anyways, and it comes out with a copper T just flat on its forehead. Like a good Christian baby. A symbol of Jesus Christ himself. That is 1% of the time. All of the other times you don't get pregnant, which is awesome. I got it put in by a Dutch doctor, not because that's my preference. It would never be my preference. But I live in the Netherlands. So I had to get it put in by a Dutch doctor. This one, actually really nice. The whole time I was in there, I had to be like this. I had to do nothing. And she kept being like, hey, you're doing great. You're doing wonderfully. This is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're the best. Yeah, she called me the best. I went over, kissed her on the forehead. I did. It was too nice. It was too sweet. Just before I left, she was like, hey, Lara, by the way, you can't put in a menstrual cup anymore because if you do, it'll create a vacuum and it'll just suck the copper T straight out. I was like, I'm sorry, what? She was like, bye. I'm like, what are you talking about? I have so many questions. I have 3 questions in particular. My first question, a queef. My second question, if I go through airport security, will it beep? And if so, will they finger me just to know in advance so I can prepare? My third question, if I go through airport security and it beeps and then I don't disclose that I have an IUD, will they finger me for free? That's a silly joke. I don't want you to think, oh, this bitch, she's so silly. She's not even a little bit political. That whole joke is actually about women's rights in a way. This next thing I'm gonna do is gonna be a political thing. It's a political impression and also a 90s movies reference. A political impression and also a 90s movies reference. Yeah, I just wanted to, no, yeah, that's fine. I was just thinking, yeah, no, it's fine, you guys are talking, yeah. Yeah, I feel like we should say climate, yeah, but we should say climate crisis, because it reminds, okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, if you just let me say one thing, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna, okay. I just don't know. Okay, I feel like we're not listening to each other. I feel like we're not, like I can't get it in, okay. Yeah, because I'm actually a vegetarian. It's fine. That is girl interrupted. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll take it really. It took me a long time to start having sex because my mom's a Latin American mom, and my mom would talk about my vagina every day, but only in metaphor. She would say stuff like, she'd be like, Lara, nobody wants to buy an apple that's been bitten by someone else, Lara. She'd be like, Lara, nobody wants to buy a lock that can be opened by every key, Lara. She'd be like, Lara, if you give them sex too soon, they won't stay with you forever, Lara. That last one's pretty straightforward, barely a metaphor, that one. Just kind of what she meant. It took me a long time to get started, and I actually only found out I had a clitoris 6 years ago, which is late in a life. I actually found it out the same year I found out I was a person of color. Crazy year for me. That was an insane year for me. Before that, I would just like hit myself against the chair, and then I like hit myself again. I was like, why does it feel so good? I just spent my whole life going around looking for rounded corners that I could just wiggle on top of. Obviously now I know. I knew about like the magic area, but I didn't know about her. Clitorita is what I call her. I think it's sweet. Reminds her she's Latina. That's important to me personally. It took me so long to find out until I went to Southeast Asia, which at the time I thought was an original adventure. Then I came here and saw that everyone and their mothers also went there to get sexually liberated. I'm sorry, was that Southeast Asia? You weren't talking about how you care about the climate crisis? You can just fuck local? Yes, of course I could have fucked local. But there's just something about like you go abroad and then you just fuck. I don't know what it, also it was 6 years ago. Remember how dumb we all were 6 years ago? Like in general, like as a society, we were dumb. Remember what the most viral video was 6 years ago? Of a man just punching a kangaroo square in the face. And we loved that video. We cracked up. We were like, yeah, take that, nature. That was like the general vibe. We loved that shit. That was 6 years ago. So I went to Southeast Asia. Yeah, sue me. Oh my God. That's why we're in a climate crisis in every parallel universe. Oh my God, we're in a climate crisis in every parallel universe? Yes, except the vegan one. But everyone keeps killing themselves there, so we don't know if that's okay. Oh my God. What a terrible image. I hope it doesn't bring down the vibe. I didn't know about the climate crisis 6 years ago, but I did know about massages. Is that a good segue, that one? I love a massage. I love a massage. I love any form of consensual touch, really. I love it. I will only do poses wrong in yoga class, so if the teacher comes and she puts her hand on my back. Oh, I love that. Yes, please. You want a receipt at the supermarket? Absolutely. Hold your hand. I don't know if that's consensual, but I will do it. And if you hold on for long enough, I think that's grounds for a little peck. I'll peck it. I love a massage. I was there for 3 months in Southeast Asia. On the last month, I went to a party in the Thai jungle, which is just a jungle, but in Thailand. And I walked in, and I saw the most beautiful man I'd ever seen in my entire life. He was my first Dutch man. At that time, I didn't know there was a country full of people who look very similar. I didn't know. He was gorgeous, incredible looking. And we start talking, and he tells me his name is Lars. My name, Lara. Like, okay, we're gonna fuck. Okay, same name? All right, written in the stars, I think. We get chatting, and after about like a minute, we're making out. We're making out quick as hell. It never happened to me this quick. And then I moved here, and I noticed that's a thing that Dutchmen will just do. They put their beautiful face just really, really close to you when you're talking. You don't realize that they don't have a personality. You're like, is he funny? No! He's not funny. He has blue eyes and you have post-colonial trauma. I didn't go home with him that night because you gotta save your lock. If not, they don't want to have a marriage and a family with you in the Thai jungle, which is what every woman wants. I didn't. The next time we saw each other, we started playing Never Have I Ever because we had nothing to talk about. We sat right next to each other. And I was like, what's the hottest thing for a man ever? Like, this man would probably love to know that I'm a virgin. He'd probably love to know that. And I was like, never have I ever had sex with anyone. And he was like, oh, really? That sucks. And I was like, yeah. I have like cobwebs in there. That's what I said. That's what I said because I thought it was like a sexy thing to say about like the time that had passed. I was like, cobwebs. Like the place where spiders catch their prey. Am I still a virgin if spiders had babies inside of me? I didn't say that. I thought of that after, and I put it in the show. That night, I still saw my first uncircumcised dickaroonie, which I had never seen. I had never seen one. I didn't know they looked like that. I didn't know they changed. I didn't know they looked like one thing one time, and then they looked like another thing later. Dynamic. So fun, great, interesting, nice. Those are all words I'd use to describe them. I didn't know that they looked like Alf, the puppet guy. I didn't know that. That's so funny. It's like one moment you're giving him a hand job, next you put a finger in his butt and you're puppeteer. That's another gross joke, but well written, I think. It was all unprotected. It was all unprotected and gross. And I had to go to the Thai pharmacy the next day, which is just a pharmacy, but in Thailand. And I walked in, and I saw that there were the 3 women that were behind the counter. They had hijabs on. I was so embarrassed that I had to explain to them what I had done and asked, and I didn't know how to talk to them. And I knew we didn't speak the same language. I was just like... And they went, "Oh, you mean the morning after pill?" In really good English, and I was like, "Yes, thank you." They were like, "Here you go, you big slut." And I don't think my mom was right. I never saw Lars again. I never saw him, not once again. But he did give me herpes, and that's forever. So, isn't it? Isn't it a little piece of him with me for forever? Isn't that the truth? Marriage is forever, but is it? You know what's forever? Herpes. Herpes is forever. That's one thing about herpes, that it's forever. And it was my face herpes. It was face herpes, which is better if we're comparing herpes, which we should. Not to shame anyone with the other kind of herpes, but objectively, face herpes is better. He had a scar here. And I was like, "What is that?" And he was like, "Oh, it's a scuba diving accident." What could that mean, really? What, a fish hit him? What, a fish slapped a crab? Obviously, it was herpes. It was so fucking herpes. It was herpes. And I was like, like a dumb girl. And 2 weeks later, I moved to the Netherlands. And I know that makes it sound like, "Oh, you gave me herpes, now I'm kind of get it." It wasn't like that at all. It wasn't like that at all. I actually didn't even tell him I moved here. I moved here, and then I was like, "Hey, Lars, I live here now. Are you here?" Like that, like chill. Like in a chill. Like I live here. What, I can't live here? What, the Netherlands? That's off limits to me? A woman who loves wind and cheese? A person who everyone knew that about? People where I lived would say, "Who's that girl? She loves wind and cheese. What's that girl? What's her name? She loves wind and cheese." Lara. Yeah. So what, I'm not gonna move here? I moved here for me. For me. Like we shave our legs for us. For me. And I live here now for 6 years. And I'm gonna sing a song now, Plim. I'm gonna sing a song. And it's about following a boy, but unrelated incident. Also, not a theme in the hour. I want you to know it has to be 3 times for it to be a pattern, and that's 2. this is a song about my first long-distance relationship. Has anyone here been in a long-distance relationship? Can you go, woo? Woo! Okay, cool. Maybe this is relatable to you. This was my first one. He was moving to Australia. We weren't going to see each other. We thought, yeah, let's do long-distance, but also it's so far, opposite time zone. We were like, okay, let's have one last lovely night together. Let's just spend a lovely last night together. And so we did a ton of morphine, like just a ton. And I don't remember actually anything from the night. But it was one of those nights where you don't remember anything, but you wake up and you're like, I bet it was lovely. You know? Like, it's just like a feeling of like, can't tell you one thing that happened, but what a night. And I woke up in a bathtub, I don't remember. And I dropped him off at the airport. I drove him over to the airport, and when I dropped him off, we said our goodbyes, and I cried, and we hugged, and we kissed, and then he left, and it was just like, I felt like an essential part of me had gone with him. Like, it was just like physical pain. I never felt anything like it. And I went back home, and I did something nuts. I got back in the car, and I went to the airport, and I bought a flight, and I followed him to Australia. And you might be like, Lara, that's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. And this is a song about that. Could you please play the track? I'm on the next flight window seat. Lady at security looked at me strangely. There's no time, I feel incomplete. I gotta go see my baby. I board the flight, but I'm so bored of the flight. I pop 6-night quilt, I drift into the night. Wake up, I gotta pee so bad. I hit the loo like a lad. I push and push, but I got no juice. I think I know what's going on, my pee's normally so strong. I think I know what's going on, my pee's normally so strong. Somebody stole my kidney. Who the hell would do this to me? Somebody stole my kidney, and now I only got my other kidney, my large intestine, small intestine, my liver, my pancreas, my bladder. I'm down a kidney and I'm getting model. Is it you? Is it him? Is it there? I'm sorry, sir, have you seen what I can only describe as looking like a kidney? I'm pretty sure it looks like what a guinea pig looked like with no skin on. Somebody had me disembodied without my consent. Somebody stole my kidney. Who the hell would do this to me? Somebody stole my kidney. And now I only got my other kidney, my large intestine, small intestine, my liver, my pancreas, my bladder. I'm down a kidney and I'm getting model. I see my boyfriend standing there when I get off the plane. He's holding a tiny Versace handbag and he says, let me explain. Babe, I love you, and yes, I stole your kidney. I sold it to an old billionaire here in Sydney, but I got you this handbag to ask you for your hand in marriage. Versace, will you marry me? Versace, will you marry me? And I laugh and I smile. Oh, he's so full of antics. Illegal surgery. Could he be more romantic? Can you clap? I feel so blessed. My boyfriend stole my kidney, now I weigh much less. My boyfriend stole my kidney, now I feel so blessed. My boyfriend stole my kidney, now I weigh much less. My boyfriend stole my kidney, cause he loves me so much. My boyfriend stole my kidney, it's sometimes tough. My boyfriend stole my kidney, and now I only got my, everybody up, my large intestine, small intestine, liver, my pancreas, my bladder, and this handbag. Thank you. So, I hope that was relatable to some of you. So that's a song about love. But yeah, it's also a song about kidney theft. And kidney theft is something no one's talking about. Not in the media. No one's writing songs about kidney theft. And I think that's for one reason. And one reason only. And that's because it's not happening very much. And I for one think that should change. Can everyone please look underneath their seats? Can everyone please look underneath their seats? A couple of you will find a small dehydrated kidney bean. If you have one, can you lift it up? Show it. Show it. Show it to everyone. Hold it proud. Now, I am in no way saying that I hope that you become a victim of kidney theft. I am not. What I am asking of you here today is for you to become a perpetrator. If you were ever looking for a calling, if you were looking for something to do, this is it. I guess if the show had to have a message, it'd be the change you want to see. And I just want to thank you guys for coming out, and I'm so happy. I'm sorry, what the fuck are you actually talking about? Like, what are you actually saying right now? Shut the fuck, everybody loved that ending. That was the ending. Everybody standing ovation about to do. Everybody was about to do that. Okay, then why is this show called Climate Change My Struggle? It's not. It's not. Also, you and I both know what the fucking 5,000 individuals do. You know? These 5,000 little people, what can they do? You and I both know individuals can't make a difference. As Margaret Mead's always said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, collected individuals can... Shut the fuck! Don't fucking end my show with a quote. Don't you fucking... Ow! Calm down. I can't. I'm upset. I'm mad, actually. I'm mad because I'm doing comedy as the world is ending, and it's upsetting, actually, to me. Yeah, I'm upset. Also, I'm mad that the aircon is on. Also, is it even on? Because they said it would be on, and I'm fucking sweating my ass off. That's how I feel about everything. I feel hypocritical and bad, and like I can't do one fucking thing right, and I'm upset, and I feel like climate change could have been the one big unifier where we all got upset about the same thing, but we're not. We're not upset, and that upsets me, and I'd like for everybody to be upset about it. So I guess that's how I want to end my comedy show. I'd like for everybody to go off and be upset, and if we could also all do something about bringing kidney theft back, that would be so good. Thank you so much. That's the show. Thank you. 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 You guys rock. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Great. I have a little paper to give to you. I have a little paper to give to you. Please take it from me. If you could take one per group of people that you came with, that would be awesome. On it has a QR code that you can scan, and you can watch the video of a man punching a kangaroo in the face, and also a bunch of climate crisis things that you might be able to do or are interested in. So do that, scan that, take that from me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Big round of applause for you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You were great. Thank you. And for supporting the live art, even if it's for the web. Don't think about it. Cool. That's it, right? Cut. Yeah. Great. Thank you for coming.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Gracias. Gracias. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Gracias. Muy amable. Gracias. Thank you for coming. Ay, qué lindo. Gracias. Mil gracias. Que estés muy bien. Gracias por venir. Thank you for coming. Thank you.